This Bengals game coming up, and we're gonna get to the comments. So y'all start throwing stuff in the comments, man. I'm gonna start bringing you guys up and chit chatting back and forth. But for me, this is this Bengals game is huge, huge. Yes, we need to win. We need to win, and there's some people that say, "Well, it's not a make or break game," and I was in that camp. I said the same thing. I was like, it's not necessarily make or break. The Steelers, they got other games left. They don't have to win this game. I kind of think they do. I kind of think they do need to win this game. Number one, if you win it, you're going to knock the Bengals right out of the playoffs. Not that they can get in it. I mean, they may not make it anyway. But if you beat them, you're knocking them right out of the playoff contention, which, you know how lovely that would be for me as a Steeler fan, and for you as a Steeler. I can't stand the Bengals. The Bengals act like they have been good for like the last 40 years or something, when we know the Bengals have just been an okay team the last few years, but before that, they have sucked forever. So, so I think beating them and putting them out in their misery, I think is a good thing. That's number one. Number two, gives us more confidence. Big game on the road, divisional opponent. We stay in the fight. We stay in the fight because whether we like the Bengals or not, the Bengals are still a good football team. We can talk about, well, we don't like the Bengals and the Bengals stink and all of that stuff. And I'm right there with you. I can't stand them. But the Bengals are still a good football team. Now, their defense isn't very good, but they can score points on anybody. So I'm looking forward to the matchup. I really am. And it would behoove the Steelers to put a ton of pressure on the Bengals. Bring pressure. Don't sit back in that vanilla two deep zone that we've been sitting in all year. Joe Burrow is going to just carve us up. Bring pressure. Disguise some stuff. Mix things up. Make it difficult. Make it difficult for them to be able to move the football. So let's see here. My man Lennox says, since he already guaranteed victory in interviews, you know how they are, Lennox. You know how they are. They're always talking. It's like, it's the person, when you want to be like somebody, all you can do is talk about that person. And that's what the Bengals are to us. They want to be the Steelers so bad. That's all they do is talk about us. That's all they do is talk about us. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But you're right. They're already guaranteeing victory. Let's see here. Superstar status brought this up when we were talking about Cam. Said Cam is given all that he has left. Yeah, he is. Cam's giving us everything that he's got, man. Because I honestly believe that this is going to be Cam's last year. And he just wanted that security of that last year, which I don't know. I mean, he had it. He was guaranteed the money, but whatever. But I think this is going to be Cam's last year. And I think Cam was like, I'm going out with a bang. And he's going out with a bang. He's giving us what he's got. I like what Cam Hayward is doing, man. My man Lennox Smith here. Can we be imaginative with TJ? Looks like mostly the same side. Teams have 3 people on them. I agree. More or move them around. Absolutely. We got to move them around. We can't consistently just, okay, we're going to keep them over there. We're going to line up in the nickel and we're just going to rush them. Well, teams know that, man. And they're just going to say, we're going to chip them. And this is basically what teams have done to the Steelers. They've said, okay, we're going to line up and we're going to come out in 13 personnel, or excuse me, 11 personnel. And we're going to have a tight end to one side, which is TJ's side, and we're going to chip. And on the other side, we're going to have the running back to help chip on the other side. Can your middle guys beat us? They haven't been able to. Are you blitzing anybody? We haven't blitzed anybody. So we're just saying, okay, here's your front 4. Oh, we're going to block them and we're going to double team somebody. And Lario hasn't been, and Keanu Benton haven't been able to beat single blocks consistently. They're double teaming Cam, and there you have it. No pass rush. That's literally what Cleveland did all game against us. They just said, we'll come out in 13 person or at 11 personnel. We'll put a tight end to one side. We'll double team an interior guy. We'll put the back to the other side to help chip. And we don't believe that your guy opposite Cam Hayward can beat us one-on-one. I mean, it's not that complicated, man. And that's what's been happening. That's literally what has been happening. So it's just, we got to figure that out. We got to change some stuff. Lack of blitzing, lack of imagination, too deep zones. Joey Porter Jr., for some reason, the Steelers believe that he's just this shut down, locked down corner. No, he's not. We like Joey Porter Jr. Is he a good football player? Yes. But again, come on, Steeler fans. We love all of our guys, but we can't lie to ourselves about who they are. You can be a good football player without just being some locked down, shut down corner. JPJ is not that yet. He isn't. And he may never be that, but that doesn't mean he can't be good. So, but we'll see. We'll see. My man Vincent. And we as fans see all the problems. Why can't they? Here's what I would say about that, Vincent. I believe the Steelers do see the problems. One, us as fans, we have the luxury of just complaining. That's number one. So we got the luxury of just being the ones that just complain. Two, maybe some of the guys aren't capable of doing the things that we're asking for. Like if we're asking to blitz guys and put them in certain positions, maybe the Steelers have tried that and they're like, well, no, that's not the best position for them because they aren't capable of doing that. I don't know. I'm trying to give them an out if you can't see. I'm trying to give them an out. But my thing is, they see him in practice every day. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they see it more than we do. Hopefully, they can get some of this turned around. But I'm with you, Vincent. I'm with you, my man. So, Alex Highsmith being hurt doesn't help. You're exactly right. We love Nate Herbig, and he's going to be a good player. But I was saying this all along. He's not as good as Alex Highsmith. He's just not. And when you say that, America has gotten to this point to where if you say somebody's not as good as somebody else, that means you're telling me that person's bad. I didn't say that. I'm not saying that Nick Herbig is bad. I'm just saying he's not as good as Alex Highsmith. And that's okay. I mean, Alex Highsmith is really good. He's not as good as TJ Watt, and that's okay. So, but yeah, him being hurt doesn't help us. Not at all. So, here's a question here. Somebody hadn't asked this in a while. Is Cole Holcomb coming back this year? I would say no. I would say Cole Holcomb would be lucky to play again. Ever. Cole Holcomb had a complete knee blowout, nerve damage. I mean, all of you think of the worst knee injury you could have outside of it being amputated. That's what Cole Holcomb had. So everything gone in his knee, ligaments, cartilage, nerves gone. So I would say he's probably not going to come back. Hold on. Let me backtrack. He's not coming back this year. He may not come back ever, which is unfortunate and it sucks to say, but sometimes that's a reality. Sometimes it's just a reality. I hope he does. If he chooses to want to play football, I hope he does, but he just may not be able to do that. So, a man says taking too many plays off. Who's taking too many plays off? You just talking about the whole team in general, superstar? Or are you talking about somebody specifically? So, a man Lennox Smith here. I like this one. You think Tomlin and the Tampa 2 and his Tampa 2 background, bend, don't break, no, just go be a great. Here's the thing about Mike Tomlin. And you don't necessarily associate Mike Tomlin with this, But Mike Tomlin is super conservative when it comes to being a football coach. He is ultra conservative as a football coach. So being in a Tampa 2, keeping everything in front of you, tightening up in the red zone and making you kick field goals, that's what Mike Tomlin wants to do. Make you work for everything you get, go up and down the field gradually. He is ultra conservative, which is different from the days. But here's the thing to remember: early in the days when Mike Tomlin was a head coach, you got to remember Dick LeBeau was still there. And while Dick LeBeau was around, they were still going to run what the Steelers run as far as zone blitzes and all these exotic blitzes. Dick LeBeau was still going to do those things. Okay. So I would think that he needs to get back to doing some of that. You can, I mean, especially the way the NFL is today. Yeah, from time to time, you're going to give something over the top, and you're going to get beat. But you're going to do that anyway. It's National Football League. You're going to give up a big play here or there. I mean, those guys get paid too. They're going to beat you. But I'm with you. Be more aggressive. Be more aggressive. So, talking about the offensive line. Yeah, if we're talking about the offensive line as far as taking plays off, I guess some of that with the offensive line is just ability though, or technique. But you're probably right because Broderick takes plays off. You see it. Dan Moore takes plays off. I don't think the interior three take any plays off. I don't think. Well, we saw some from Isaac last week, but in general, I don't think Isaac and Frazier and McCormick. I know McCormick ain't taking no plays off. That guy's got energy for days. It don't always look good. His technique is horrendous at best, but he ain't taking a play off. He'll get beat, but he's gonna get beat going 100 miles an hour. I love McCormick, man. I do. Just I want somebody to teach him how to play in the National Football League. Teach those fundamentals. Yes, man. Teach those fundamentals to McCormick because I'm a McCormick guy. I like McCormick all day long. But we got to have somebody teach him fundamentals. If we can get that, if he can get honed in on his fundamentals, I'm telling you right now, Mason McCormick, we got us one, man. We got over. We got over, and I love it. I love it because you can't teach aggression. You can't teach his motor. You can't, but you can teach fundamentals. So, what do we got? Candy Netter. I would like to know why is that Russell Wilson can fumble, throw interceptions, take multiple sacks, but if that was Justin Fields, y'all say he's not a passer, etc. In my opinion, when Justin Fields made that run, team got fired up. Well, anybody could have made that run in the Cleveland game. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. If anybody could have made that run, the team was going to be fired up. I know what you're getting at here is you prefer Justin Fields over Russell Wilson. Look, for the Steelers to be able to win in the playoffs, now, first of all, they got to get to the playoffs. That's number one. But for them to be able to win, they got to be able to throw the football down the field. They got to be able to do that. You're not going to do that right now with Justin Fields with what he's bringing. And what interceptions are we talking about Justin or Russell Wilson throwing? Like, we threw one in the red zone. I get it, on a scramble drill. It was a bad interception against Washington. But what are we talking about? And then he's talking about getting strip sacked. You can't fumble the football. I don't care under any circumstances, unless he's getting hit from behind as he's trying to throw the ball or hit from behind. That's something different. But how he fumbled against Cleveland, yeah, you can't fumble that football. You just can't. So I'm with you. But having said all of that, Russell Wilson gives the Steelers a better chance to win. There's just no denying that. Whether you want that to admit that or not, Russell Wilson gives the Steelers a better chance to win. And he's a much better passer. So if that's what we're talking about, saying he's not a better passer, he's a million times better passer than Justin Fields is right now. That's just a fact. You can just turn on the tape and you can see that. So as far as taking the sacks, though, I got no beef there. I got no comeback for you. 15 sacks in the last 4 games. That's not all on the offensive line. Some of that is on Russell Wilson. That can't all be the offensive line. A lot of it's play calling, a lot of it's receivers. But come on, people. Let's be serious. It's not all on the offensive line. Russell Wilson got to get the football out of his hands. So we got some people in here just hate Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is terrible. Let me name the quarterback that's terrible. They went 21 for 28, threw for 270 yards in a snowstorm with a touchdown. That's terrible. Come on, man. We can't be so emotional. We can't. We're better than that. And that's what Russell Wilson was against Cleveland. He was 21 for 28 and a touchdown, had a fumble, took 4 sacks, but 270 yards. There's no world where that's terrible. No world. So we're better than that, man. I get it. We're frustrated. I'm frustrated too. So what do we got here from Mean Green? What's going on, Mean Green? I appreciate you jumping on, man. Does it have anything to do with being ultra conservative leading to the slow starts of his teams? Can't the Steelers just once get off to a fast start? Mean Green, I think you are 1,000% correct. 1,000% correct. I think that has everything to do with it. Be ultra aggressive at the beginning of the game. And being aggressive doesn't mean, well, we won the toss, so we took the ball. No. Okay, that's not what we're talking about being aggressive, man. We're talking about throwing the ball down the field, getting off the field, blitzing, forcing teams to do something when they're on offense that they don't want to do. Apply pressure. That's what we're talking about. I'm with you, Mean Green. Yeah, I think that has something to do with it. I think it has a lot to do with it. Because these slow starts, come on, man. Jiminy Christmas. We got to stop. So, we got to stop. Here's a good question by our man Linux. Why are both QBs allergic to throwing over the middle like a slant? Pat is always in the middle watching yeah, he is. I don't know. I've been screaming it. But if you notice, they did start throwing the ball over the middle against Cleveland. If you notice that. Freiermuth was getting the ball against Cleveland. We got to have more of it. We just got to have more of it. Yeah, it takes more precision, but Russ is an accurate thrower of the football. You just got to get comfortable throwing the ball over the middle of the field, Russ. I'm sorry. That's what we're doing. Everything can't be a moon ball. All right? And Justin Fields didn't throw the ball over the middle at all. So neither one of them. So I don't know. But for us to get to where we want to go, yeah, they're going to have to start throwing the football over the middle of the field. So, hey, just as a reminder, man, I want to make sure everybody knows tomorrow we got the big show coming up. Appreciate everybody that's coming on. It'll be on tomorrow live at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Hopefully, I will have one of the 2 drains that is in my cheek draining out this crazy stuff that's in there. So I'll have that out so it'll aesthetically look a little bit better, and maybe I'll be able to talk a little bit better. So we'll see. But one thing I want to know is I appreciate y'all being here, man, and sticking with us. I appreciate y'all being here, sticking with me, man. Look, had I known that my wisdom tooth, getting it out was going to cause these problems, I would have just dealt with that pain, which wasn't near as bad as what I've gone through. Not even close. So I would have just dealt with that until the end of the season and we could have moved on. But it is what it is, man. What are you going to do? You can't change what you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I just appreciate you all being in here. I really, really do. So let's see. What else we got, man? What else we got? Podcast coming up on Wednesday, too. We'll be back on schedule this week. So tomorrow we got the big show with Big G coming out. Podcast on Wednesday. Make sure you guys show up for that. And then we'll have our scouting report for the Bengals coming up on Friday. So make sure you guys, and then 45 minutes before the game time on Sunday, we'll be here. Boom, boom, boom. And then 15 minutes after that game, after we beat those punk ass Bengals, we'll be right back here talking live about the game. So let's get it going. Appreciate y'all, man. What else do we got? Let me go through here. My man Eugene. Fields would be better right now than Russ is. Fields should have gotten the opportunity. Fields got the opportunity. I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, Fields got an opportunity to play. And he was 4-2. Russ got the opportunity to play. And he's 4-1. And if you're saying that the offense looked better under Justin Fields than what it does under Russell Wilson, you are lying to yourself. We're not that fan base. We're not that fan base. We're not. I get it. It was a bad game against Cleveland. I understand that. Red zone, got issues. More issues now than what we had with Fields. But if you're trying to tell me that the Steelers offense doesn't look better with Russell Wilson, you're lying. Now, it may get worse as we move on. Okay. But as of right this very second, the Steelers offense is better than what it was under Justin Fields. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. No ifs, ands, or buts. And we all know that. We got our preferences. We got our likes. I get it. But we just we can't. We just can't. So, and then we got people saying that Russ is finished. A guy that's finished, I won't even entertain it and bring you up on the screen because I can't do that. This channel can't be that troll channel. We just can't. Bustin' Fields can't make those throws, and Russ is 5'10". That's part of the problem, Mark. Russ is 5'10". He's short, so he can't throw over the middle, can't see, and Fields just can't make the throws. Kind of a problem, but I get it. Kind of the problem. So, Didn't put enough pressure, says Virgil. Didn't put enough pressure on Winston. Yeah, we talked about that, Virgil. Yeah, we didn't do anything to Cleveland. That was kind of embarrassing, to be honest with you, to just let Jameis Winston just sit back there and throw the ball all over the lot. And he didn't throw it for a ton of yards. He just made the plays when he needed to make them. And with no pressure, I'm like, come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing? It's okay to blitz. It is okay to blitz and take chances. So the Steelers got to get back to some of that. They got to get back to some of that. So, Now, here's a good statement here. I think the slow starts are just Mike Tomlin's game of attrition bullcrap. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Because game of attrition would be guys getting hurt. So what do you mean his game of attrition bullcrap? And I'm interested to know. I want to know what you mean by that because I don't know that those two are in the same context. Don't get me wrong. Mike Tomlin gives a lot of coach speak, and podium talk. But game of attrition is guys getting hurt, so it's a game of attrition. And it is a game of attrition. Football is that, literally. But I don't think that has anything to do with slow starts, though. I don't think that has anything to do with it at all. So, let's see here. Man candy. I just think Russell Wilson is allowed to make mistakes, but Justin Fields is not. Russell Wilson can't see over the line. I mean, Justin Fields was playing and he was allowed to make mistakes, wasn't he? I mean, they didn't pull him out of the game. So I don't know what you mean. Look, Russell Wilson is the starting quarterback. You don't just pull your starting quarterback because he makes a mistake. That's not what happens. I mean, Tom Brady threw interceptions. Peyton Manning threw interceptions. Joe Montana threw interceptions. They all fumbled the football. You don't take them out of the game because they made a mistake. Justin Fields was never the starter. He was the starter because Russell Wilson was hurt. Once Russell Wilson was healthy, he played. I mean, so Yeah, you don't say, okay, well, this guy makes one mistake and now he gets taken out of the game. That you can't run your offense like that. You just can't. That's not how it works. Or it shouldn't work that way, and it doesn't. Not on successful football teams. So here's a good question by my man Brandon. Why can't we use Mike Williams at all? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'd like to be able to give you a bunch of reasons on why we can't use Mike Williams, but literally my answer is I don't know. We brought him here the first week out. He helps us win a football game, makes the game-winning touchdown catch, and then they haven't thrown the ball to him since in the next two games. I'm like, don't tell me that there wasn't packages of plays. There was a package of plays. The guy got there. His first practice is on a Wednesday. There was enough packages of a play to throw him the game-winning touchdown that week. And you're telling me from then until the Browns game, 2 more weeks, he couldn't learn any more plays? I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I mean, what are we doing here? Yeah, I don't believe that. So I don't know, Brandon. I literally don't. Don't know why. So I don't know why. Let's see here. I don't know on this one, my man. Wilson needed a loss. He is human. I don't know that anybody needs a loss. I mean, and the people that say, oh, man, it was good that we lost this game. You can learn from a win just like you can learn from a loss if you're doing it right. You know, I don't want to lose anything. So I don't know. I don't know. So here's a good question. Which position group or specific players would benefit from a quick game passing attack? And what part of the game is tempo best utilized? Good question here, Riley Wilson. First off, obviously the wide receivers would benefit from the quick game, but more importantly, the offensive line. You know, not having to block guys for near as long, the offensive line would benefit from that, from a quick game. Everybody just thinks that it's wide receivers and quarterback, but your offensive line also benefits from that too. So, but the problem with that is I don't know that the Steelers have the skill set of wide receivers to be able to get open like that to run a quick game. You know what I'm saying? I would love if the Steelers ran quick game. Would love it. But do we have the people to be able to do that? I don't know. I don't know. But I would love it. And what part of the game is tempo best utilized? I think I think tempo is best utilized when your offense is struggling. If you can't get anything going, hey, you know what? Let's go up tempo a little bit. Let's try to change the tenor of what's going on. Let's go up tempo. That doesn't mean you go into 2-minute offense or anything like that, but that just means, hey, you go to no huddle, you call stuff from the line, get guys set, get a good personnel group out there that you want to run, 6 or 7 plays in a row with. That's what you should do. That's, in my personal opinion, I think that's when up tempo is best utilized. Kind of change what's going on, if that makes sense. So let's see. Preston Cole, Orbison tribute artist. Big B, I mentioned before that simplifying the blocking scheme helped us late last year. Although long term, these guys are capable. I wonder if it would work again this year to simplify it. Preston, I think that anything you can do to help our offensive line be more successful than what it's been would absolutely be the right answer. So if simplifying it and just saying we need to, because last year we couldn't run a tog, we couldn't run outside zone, we couldn't do anything outside running the football. The Steelers are better at that this year, but not great. But I don't think you're wrong. If we could simplify it, now the problem is that teams are going to start figuring that out. And they figured it out against us. They figured it out. Oh, they're not going to run wide. They're going to run in between the tackles. Anytime they run the ball, it's a power game. The difference is that last year we didn't have any kind of imagination as far as position groups or formations. Anytime we lined up in a certain formation, teams knew exactly where we were running the football. Arthur Smith is a little bit better at, I take that back. He's a lot better at disguising what we're trying to do based on position groups, based on formations. But the plays aren't really any different. And so we're not blocking it a whole lot different. But anything we could do to help the offensive line, yes, I'm with it. I'm with it. 100%. 100%. So, mm-mm-mm. Russ seldom had an opportunity or a chance to set his feet. That's because he was being harassed the whole game. Guys were in his face. Our offensive line got whipped against Cleveland. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. They got their head beaten in against Cleveland. You know, I mean, I could say a lot of things and make up a lot of excuses or anything like that, but the fact of the matter is the offensive line just got whipped against Cleveland. It was bad. Go check out the All 22 if you haven't already. We got a late start on it, obviously, with my face issues, so I apologize. But our schedule got thrown way off. But yeah, go check out the All 22, man. It just the offensive line got whipped. That's why Russ. I mean, and still, Russ was 21 for 28. People act like Russ had a bad game against Cleveland. I'm trying to figure out why. Steeler fans are not that uninformed. Yes, we're going to have some fanatics out there that say crazy stuff just because that's the way the world works. But Steeler fans are extremely knowledgeable football people, extremely knowledgeable. So I'm trying to figure out why so many people are saying Russell Wilson had a bad game against the Browns. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. So I'm just he didn't have a bad game, man. Again, 21 for 28 for 270 yards and a touchdown. And basically a third of the game was in a driving snowstorm. That's not bad football. That's not bad football. Now, did he hold on to the ball a little bit too long at times? Yeah, he did. He did do that. But to say he had a bad game is crazy talk. No, he didn't. You know who had a bad game? The offensive line. That's who had a bad game. Offensive line had a bad game. You know. My man Lennox said it here. He had a bad first half. I don't even know if you could say he had a bad first half the way that they were getting after him. I mean, he held on to it sometimes, but heck, that first sack, he got engulfed by three guys. What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? And he was harassed the whole game. We couldn't block him. We just couldn't block their front. So, I don't know. I don't know. Los, hold on now. When are we going to stop playing one safety high? The Steelers have been playing two high safeties a lot. They've been in cover two a ton. Cover two, cover three, a ton. But it's been mostly cover two. So I'll take some single high safety stuff, you know, and start playing some man to man. I'll take it all day long. But I'm tired of them playing zones and having people pick us apart. I'm tired of that. So, all right, man. I appreciate y'all being here. I'm going to shut this one down. My jaw is basically taking about all it can take for the day. So I appreciate everybody being in here. Let me kind of give you the rundown. Again, as always, we're going to be tomorrow, the big show with Big G tomorrow night. Make sure you guys tune in live for that. I appreciate you. And then on Wednesday, our podcast premiere will be out. So you guys know to tune into that. We'll be in the chat. And then on Friday, we got the scouting report of those pesky, punk-ass Cincinnati Bengals. We'll break all that down. And then on Sunday, the day of the game, 45 minutes before, we'll be live right here. And then 15 minutes after the game is over, we will be live back here talking about the game, all that good stuff. So I appreciate everybody being in here, man. Make sure you guys like, follow, subscribe, and continue to get in those comments like you guys always have. I appreciate you guys, man, and everything, all the support you've given us. Again, I appreciate you sticking around while I'm dealing with this face thing. I promise I'll get back to healthy as soon as I possibly can, man. I know it doesn't sound great. I don't look great, but stick with us. Stick with us. We're still doing good stuff, man. So I appreciate you guys. Aloha.